Hello, good morning, and welcome to another Tuesday edition of Better Than Coffee. On this Tuesday morning, I want to do a quick intro of myself, Brandy Vines, again, your host. I am the founder of The Covalent Culture, a coaching and consultative firm within the healthcare space. I also, last night, I think it was around 2 o'clock in the morning, I updated LinkedIn to show that I'm working on a critical care EMS crew right now. A lot of people kind of goes with this segment today. Are you insane or a genius? There's a lot of people that think I'm insane for going back and after years in healthcare leadership, working on a critical care ambulance. And, my real goal is to always be in the weeds of healthcare. I can't be a good leader in healthcare. I can't lead people in healthcare if I don't know the pain points. So that's my constant goal, is to continuously be kind of on the front line, really learning, always understanding from those that are in the weeds of healthcare what the issues and pain points are, so I can be the right leader for healthcare. With that being said, I worked a 24-hour shift and I just got off and I'm super tired. So if my words slur today, I apologize. I am drinking tea today, not coffee, because I plan to go sleep after this. But I'm super excited today to talk to Justin Tidmore. As I mentioned in the announcement, he just got back from this over 2,000-mile journey on a bike, with a bike and a tent as a nomad for Justin, how many days? 90-ish, 100?
87.
87, okay. I was close. So for 87 days, living out of a backpack trailer, pulling some goods, a tent, often set up on the side of the highway. There's a lot of people that would deem this effort or endeavor as insane. So one of the things I want to talk through with Justin today is, what is the difference, between insanity versus genius? A lot of time that's measured simply by, are you successful? There's so many people that we would deem insane if whatever their invention or thought or idea wasn't successful. Because they are successful at that insane idea, they are now a genius, right? So I want to kind of talk to some of those concepts and some of the experiences that Justin had along the journey. Some of you know this. I've actually talked about it on my feed before, but Justin's also my big brother. So I think what he did was super cool, and there's a lot of reasons for that, but we'll dive in deeper into that. I'm also not feeling super great, so apologies if I cough or put on mute or anything like that. But so Justin, I told you to be, completely you. My brother is hysterical, so we'll see what comes out of his mouth today. But hopefully there's not too much things that he says that embarrasses me from my childhood or anything like that. But hey, if it does, it does. So,
I won't. I'll just be straightforward.
Be straightforward. Well, the first thing I want to ask you in front of our audience today is, do you regret the journey at all? Do you regret the selling your truck, closing down your business, going MIA for 3 months, living in a tent? Like, do you regret the journey at all?
Absolutely not. I want to do it again. Like, I want to do it. I want to go to Central America. I want to go to South America, and from there, who knows? But absolutely not. I had a really good time doing it. So
cool.
Very cool.
And that's, guys, kind of tying that to anything in life that's insane or crazy. Often you get into that and you won't regret it. So I think that's one of the things to kind of take away from this, those big leaps of faith, how they can be one of the most monumental, amazing things that you do in your life. And I think, Justin, you would probably agree, this is something you'll never forget.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of great moments. There was a lot of crappy moments. I mean, like the rain was a big issue. That was probably the number one issue I had the whole time, was trying to stay dry. So anything I could do to kind of get through those moments, I think our first encounter was like in Vernon, Texas. basically we had a big storm. So as we were Vernon, Texas, so if you're in the Dallas area, it's like a little bit west of you, and it's like right before you start turning up north to go through the Panhandle. Anyway, it's a trap for our family because we've encountered two tornadoes there as a family through Vernon, and so the very first uh, big issue I faced on this trip was going through Vernon, Texas, and I'm looking at the weather app, and I've got a storm in the westwardly direction, but it's ahead of me, and I see it forming, but it's okay. It's in the distance. And then there was this little bitty little dot, and it was south of me. So I'm headed west. I'm looking at this little dot, and all of a sudden this dot just blooms. And the next thing I know, I was with my friend Colin. I didn't do this by myself, by the way. My friend Colin, absolutely big help the whole time. Anyway, we look at this, it's blooming, and we're like, what do we do? And so we find this little pullover spot, it's like a little picnic area, and those little pavilion things, not very big, maybe like 10 feet by 15 feet. And that storm just wiped us. I mean, wiped us. The wind, the amount of the wind and the rain, I mean, the rain's going sideways. Every part of your body is soaking wet. So moments like that were not fun because the next 8 hours, because we had to spend the night there. We were soaking wet, freezing, whatnot. Absolutely awful. I'm going on a random tangent here, but the trip was not perfect. But after that moment, the next morning, when you wake up and you realize, oh man, I survived a storm.
Yeah.
Like, I've never done that before. I've never been out in the middle of the storm. So we didn't even get to put our tent up. This storm just hit us, everything's soaked, and then you're shivering the whole night. But at the morning, when you're like, crap, I survived that. I went through that. I mean, lightning striking everywhere. It's a definitely a confidence builder. So it's like going through crap, coming out on the other end and being, holy, it was a good feeling the next day. So
anything you push through, again, the life lessons, right? Like, and this is a literal storm, but
yeah,
everybody goes through their, storms in life, and you feel accomplished on the other side of it. I forgot to mention to everybody. So when he was getting ready for this, he asked if my two teenage boys, his nephews, could go with him. And as he was just talking about this storm and the lightning striking all around him, was like, Uncle Justin, I can't imagine why we didn't let your teenage nephews go with you. After I told him no, that my nephews or my children, his nephews, couldn't go with him, he then proceeded to ask if my 12-year-old dog could go with him. I was like, no, you're not taking any of my family members.
He would have been a perfect dog to go on that trip, by the way.
He actually would have loved it. He may be 12, but he has the energy of like a puppy still.
A rebel.
But
great game.
So, all right. So you don't regret it,
No, don't regret it.
Obviously, there was still the challenges that happen.
Yeah, many.
What was the why behind this insane idea? Like, what is it that you were thinking through? And I know you thought through the potential of doing this for a while, but what was going through your brain? Like, what was your why for jumping into this?
Well, I guess technically there's a lot of answers I could give. I'm just going to the heart of it. The absolute, like, short 5-second version is for fun, for the adventure. I mean, that's the ultimate thing. I mean, that's what, I think everybody, when they kind of get the travel bug, they want to go see and do. They want to, it's fun, right? To see new things and do new things and get out of your little space you're in. When I say get out of your little space you're in, specifically, I mean, for me personally, there was definitely my why, as you ask, is that. So I'll go ahead and all this story, but I'll for the audience, in case somebody can use this. I've dealt with anxiety my whole life, but it really came to a point about 12 to 10 years ago where I dealt with what was called agoraphobia. And what that is basically your world gets really small. It's a really small space. and it's really hard for you to like go to a supermarket or to go to a live event. Like everything gets really small, and so there was a time period where and I've already been bit by the travel bug, by the way, but to see this world kind of cave in and have these anxiety issues of just doing everyday things in life, it became really hard for me to ever think that I would ever take any kind of trip anywhere, even if by car or by plane. So I had a lot of help. Uh, but it came, getting back to the why. This idea came to me to do it by bicycle from watching YouTube videos. Basically, I've seen people do this. I think they call it bike packing or something like that. I think that's the
Yeah.
general term for it. But the why is because I want to do it. It sounded fun, but also there's a challenge, and if I completed that challenge, then essentially I defeated my little space, my little agoraphobia space, if I were able to complete it. And so, lots of reasons. I wanted to do it for fun, but
Mm-hmm.
also it was a challenge, and it was a way for me to like finally say no. I'm no longer agoraphobic, and no, I'm no longer going to deal with anxiety
Yeah.
because it's all the limitations are all up here. I mean, it really is. And
Yeah.
at times, those limitations are not, you're not going to overcome them, but you will eventually, through help, you'll get help, and through time, and the biggest healer of all things is time, those limitations will go away. And then I was able to do something that I didn't think I'd ever be able to do.
Yeah. And that's, well, first of all, I'm going to pause. Last episode, I told you guys that I was going to try to like respond and have you guys send questions in. I went back and watched the video. I was awful about trying to like multitask. So I'm just going to talk out loud as people kind of, if you have questions or anything like that, by all means, put it in the chat and then I'll say it out loud. Thurston, good morning. Hello, sir. I actually need to catch up with you. So if you've got time today, tomorrow, I want to connect, regroup on some things, but hope you're doing well this morning. So the why, when I asked Justin to come on and talk about this experience, because to me, it's amazing. Obviously it's my brother, near and dear to my heart, but to see anybody, I know the level of, Justin, I think you would agree, label it debilitating anxiety that you dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
And just knowing some of the anxiety, the situations that you would not put yourself into because of the fear of what would happen, and the fact that you pushed through that to do this, again, insane trip by the traditional standards, it to me it's awesome. It's so awesome. And Justin had asked me, he's like, why in the heck would you want me to come and talk about this? Is it because there's so many people that deal, and it may not be anxiety, right? It may be fear, right? I think there's so many people deal with fear, or just, I've talked about self-hate, people, the lack of confidence, the lack of the ability to push through something is what inhibits people from being the best version of themselves continuously over and over again. And it's not even just the best version of yourself, it's life. To Justin's commentary, I just wanted to do it because it was fun. I was talking to a paramedic from Australia who he's here on a work visa and working EMS here in Dallas. And he was talking about, and Justin, I think I told you about this, or maybe it was Dad. I was talking to somebody in the family. And he was talking about how, well, I ask people questions all the time. So we're riding in the ambulance and I said, hey, what's the most unique thing that you've noticed about America versus Australia? He goes, you guys don't do anything. He goes, y'all don't enjoy life. You don't travel. You don't in comparison to Australians, he's like, we're constantly taking 2 months off, or, we work. Yeah, but it's not, we enjoy life. Getting back from, Europe this summer with my kids, same thing. Even, my 14-year-old, he mentioned, he's like, Mom, everyone's just a little bit more chill. And I think it's one of the things too, the importance of it is not only just pushing through and, whatever it is that you're dealing with, the challenge or, to Justin's, commentary about anxiety and pushing through that. But it's enjoy life. All too often we're constantly worried about, the next thing for our job or, finances or whatever the concern is. And throughout all that stress, we don't take time to enjoy life.
Mhm.
I've another podcast I talked about this, previously. I'm a worry wart. I worry. I'm a preparer. I like to prep. I like to know what's happening. And one of the things I keep trying to embrace is the phrase that worrying is like a rocking chair. It'll give you something to do, but it won't get you very far. And so that's one of the things, the worrying, live, live, push yourself to new limits. And I think you'll be surprised of, how much strength you really do have inside of you. Okay. So you started talking about the rainstorms. I know you and I talked several times. Where were you when I was FaceTiming with you and the storm was hitting? That was like in Montana or something, wasn't it?
Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm FaceTiming with him, and they were literally holding the tent up because it was about to collapse on him.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you want to talk about, a little bit more on some of the challenges, how y'all got through them. I know there was the dang near hypothermia situation once you got to Canada.
Yeah. I mean, there was lots of challenges for sure. That storm that you were at mom and dad's that's where you saw it, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Brandy got to see the FaceTime of this storm where the tent's caving in and we're just kind of, I don't even know what we're doing. We're just basically two bodies inside a tent that's keeping the tent from blowing away, So yeah, that was fun. Not too exciting. Oh, that was an interesting challenge because when the storm passed, we're wet because our tent sucked. It didn't completely keep out the water and whatnot like it's supposed to do, but not surprised. Anyway, we're kind of each huddled in our own little spots and we're freezing. And it's like, I remember specifically in that moment, it was like after, maybe 20, 30 minutes, I'm like, I can't be like this all night. Something's got to change. Mm-hmm. So when you make that first kind of move, I guess, that first attempt to just move inside the tent, I had a little stove. We brought the little portable stoves and whatnot. So we turned that on and that got a little heat going. And that little heat was just another little something to help get us moving and get us in a better mood. And then the next thing I know is I'm boiling water because we're going to make ourselves like some hot chocolate or something. And from there, we were able to make ourselves a meal. And then we were able to finally sort things that were soaking wet and get those to the edge of the tent and then find a spot dry enough to get some sleep. Unfortunately, we were able to keep our sleeping bags from getting wet that night. So, yeah, that was another challenging moment. But again, you wake up the next day. It's a beautiful sun day. And I don't think it was too much long after that event that we got to see this amazing rainbow, like just a couple days later. So Wyoming, terrible. I mean, great state, but terrible for the weather. It rained on us every day. But we did have our rainbow moments that I think you posted out.
Yeah. Yeah, I can look at my feed, and I know we want to talk about also where you can go see, like they did a YouTube channel, they have a website where you can go see all the pictures, follow the journey, watch some of the videos from the journey. But if you'll go down to my thread, you'll see this amazing double rainbow that came after that storm. And the commentary then on the caption of that post was talking about, like, you've got to weather the storm to see the rainbow. You don't get that double rainbow that's just jaw dropping, if you don't weather that storm. So, so there's so many things that you went through literally that translate to everybody's kind of mentality of like, how do you kind of push through life? And I think it's awesome. So talking about the wet tent, So your tent's not exactly what I'm going to say up to par for what you would have liked. I know about your preparation process. I mean, guys, Justin's never done this before. Never. It's not like he's done a 2-week version of this, a month version of this. He just says, hey, you know what? I've never done this at all. I'm going to get it on my bike and go over 2,000 miles from Texas to Canada. So talk about the preparation and then hindsight 2020, what you would have done different.
Oh, geez. Well, the preparation. So I originally wanted to do this trip, not this past summer, but the summer before.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get everything together or anything really researched at that point. So I wound up having to wait for this summer. So I had a whole year to kind of think about, just like the things I was going to encounter and whatnot. And so the prep for the trip was basically just saying, what do I need to survive, however many days it was going to take me. I didn't know how long it was going to take. I was hoping to do it under 100. Unfortunately, I did. But it's like, what do I need? Well, I mean, I need a shelter. So I got to get a tent. I need some sort of thermal insulation, to stay warm at night when I get to the cooler climates. So sleeping bags and whatnot. We want to cook and whatnot, so we got to have cooking utensils. Some things that I didn't really over planned on. I was thinking, okay, I've never really gone more than a day or so without taking a shower, and Walmart had this. I'm calling it stupid now, but back in the day, I thought it was cool. But it was like a tent, and you set it up like a shower. I mean, it's like a portable shower basically, and my intentions were to bring that. I was like, yeah, because I want to take a shower. But so what you think the trip is going to be like and what it actually is going to be like, bringing that shower would have been absolutely stupid. Fortunately, I didn't bring it with me because it was weight. That was a big issue, was the amount of weight, because everything we're pulling on a trailer. You can see on the videos on our website, you'll see this trailer that holds all of our gear, and the trailer attaches to our bikes. So anyway, the prep. How did I prep? I try to think in terms of, what do I need? And I thought having a shower every day was going to be an absolute necessity, with me personally. And what did I learn afterwards? Apparently, taking a shower every day is not a necessity. I actually got used to that, of not having a shower. I know this is gross, but I even gone I think I went like 6 days without a shower at one point, 6 or 7 days, and this is coming from somebody who's had a shower almost every day his entire life. So you learn that there's a lot of things you can do without for extended periods of time, and be okay. So I think the second part of your question was, you said, how did you prepare, and then what did you
hindsight 2020? What would you do differently?
What would you do differently? Like in terms of what I would bring prep wise?
Yeah, like general preparation.
I don't know. Okay, yes, I do know. I have got to come up with a better way of staying dry.
Yeah.
Literally, like they make a lot better gear. So obviously, I did this whole thing on a budget, right? But they make obviously a lot better gear, to be able to stay dry. Better jackets. Like the jacket I bought was supposed to be rainproof or waterproof. No, it wasn't. So I know there's better gear out there. So that to me, what I'll do in the future is I'll do a better research on going ahead and spending the money on higher end gear that will keep you dry. Anybody who wants to do this, that's probably the number one thing I'll tell you right now. Stay dry if you can. It's all about staying dry. So find what you can. Find the right tent. Find the right clothing, the jackets, the pants. Stay dry. That's my number one thing. So
what I love about the fact that, I know you didn't love it in the moment, but the fact that your tent wasn't the best, your jacket wasn't the best, I know your sleeping bag, you said it wasn't the best, is that you go to, translate this to life experiences, there's all too often, I think people get that analysis paralysis, right? And you keep going, oh my God, is this best? Should I go left? Should I go right? What should I do? And people think and think and think and think and never do. Regardless, of course you got into it. There was the issues, there was the equipment that wasn't up to par, but equally you did it, right? You moved, you went. And I think that's one of the things, now, like, next go with this, what you would do different. But that's where I think, to anybody who's struggling on like contemplating, something that you want to do, you're contemplating it, just go. Yes, prepare to a certain degree. I'm not saying don't prepare at all, but whether it be in business or personal, like, just do it. People think and think and think and go back to the worry about, what the outcome's going to be before even doing it.
Yes.
Just go. I was out in California with Bethany. I'm going to probably say her last name wrong, Daughtry. She's one of the leaders at Hill Trust and amazing person. She and I were out in California, and we're in a labor action preparation out in California, also in the middle of a massive COVID surge. We've got nurses, clinicians, everyone coming in from all over, every type of resource. And it was a little stressful. And one of the quotes that I think she's the one who ended up saying it, that we kept saying over and over again, was but did you die? Did you die? And I got back and, got a shirt. And I was actually trying to find it because I was going to wear it. But of course, as luck would have it, I couldn't find it in my closet that's not well organized. But it just says, did you die? And it's a little extreme, right? But it's just that mindset constantly. You're not going to die. Just go. I say that, Justin, I think you probably, come back and say, I don't know. There was a couple situations where I was really worried about the outcome, but again, did you die? Just move, action. And, there's always the worrying, action, go, do it.
Yeah.
People. So people are, to me, the most amazing part of life, right? I'm going to do a quick sidestep for a second. To my connections on LinkedIn, I cannot tell you, as I've kind of grappled with what I'm going to be doing in healthcare and the past 3 months, just the network of people from LinkedIn and my LinkedIn community specifically, that I've been able to have deep conversations with and really understand what you're working on. You understand what I'm working on. Thank you. It's awesome. People are what makes, life worth it. Kind of going back to the conversation with Justin, I know, Justin, there was different people that saw your YouTube channel, followed you all on your website or your blog that you guys didn't know. People that took you in for housing, took you to concerts. I think that was day 80 that I went and watched. Talk through some of the people component of, who you met along the way and what it meant for the journey.
Yeah. I met so many people that wanted to help. Like, everybody I met wanted to help, be a part of it, do whatever they could to make our journey successful, and people were great. So in Calgary, as we're, ending this trip, Banff National Park isn't too far from Calgary. My friend and I went to the Central Library there. We went there to use the Wi-Fi. So we were there for just 2 or 3 hours or whatnot. And we came back outside to find that our entire, my friend's bike and his trailer with half of our gear was stolen. So I was very irate. And I shouted some things around that area that I'm not proud of. But it was an area full of a lot of homelessness. So, I'm assuming that, somebody took it, right? I mean, obviously it's stolen, but I'm assuming that somebody in that general area knows somebody who took it, right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I was, going back to people, you kind of wonder, was that meant to be? Because what happened afterwards, the people we met afterwards who really stepped up and really wanted to help was amazing. First thing, the Calgary Police Department, they were awesome. And they did everything they could. They put their officers out on the look. I mean, it's very noticeable. It's a trailer with this bizarre bike we're using, which is like a recumbent style bike. You can see pictures of it on our website. Towsack.com, by the way, TOWSACK. Towsack.com is where it's at. But anyway, the people we met, the Calgary Police Department, awesome people. They actually gave us a bike, one of their bikes they used to patrol. They gave it to my friend so that we could continue the journey. From there, we ran into a guy named Darren. Darren, we met at a Walmart, but he does this. He's done this all over the world. He's done this bike packing all over the world, and he took the bike and he rigged it with all the. You've probably seen some bikes with these saddlebag type things, or they call them panniers. He didn't have the panniers, but he took buckets of like maybe protein mix, like those big buckets, and he fixed it to the bike using the little tie downs, those tie straps.
Yeah.
And so we were able to get all of our gear, more gear, because Colin had to buy some more gear from what we lost. But we were able to get it all, in there. And so Darren, super helpful. And then from there, we met this lady. She just saw us at a store there, and Canadian Tire, I think was the name of the store we were at. But anyway, she wanted to help. Her daughter had just gone through cancer. The Make-A-Wish Foundation built her daughter a playhouse in the back. It's quite elaborate playhouse. It had like 6-foot ceilings. And so she opened up her playhouse for us to, it had a bed. I mean, it's like a house, but just everything's just, a little smaller. And open up those 2 rooms for Colin and I. And then she took us on a journey that evening in the family van. We went with her daughters to go look for the bike and trailer. We were unsuccessful, but the people, absolutely. I mean, if I had done this would be a completely different trip if I had not encountered the people I met. So we're very thankful for so many people that helped us, and it definitely enriched our lives and made the trip that much more memorable and enjoyable.
It was, I think it's like day 80, 81-ish on your videos where it shows the girl with cancer's her house, right? I think,
yeah, like a little playhouse, yeah.
Playhouse. It is extravagant. It's really awesome. So if you do go check out, the videos, go watch that one because it's really cool. And it's like a legit house just shrunk. I don't know. It was really cool. It's so cool that, I don't know, that her and the family and everyone kind of taking you guys in along the way.
Yeah.
That's another life lesson, right? I have been for decades of my life the person that just always wants to go at it alone. I can control me. I can control how I approach something, and I think that goes a lot to like past, like, how your upbringing, and I've always wanted to just control my environment as much as I can, because then I can predict what's going to happen. But the going at it alone versus going at it with people and, letting people help. I haven't been the best of like letting people help, but those are things, as I get more mature, I'm going to use that instead of the word old. But just the people that you bring into whatever it is that you're doing, it makes it that much better, versus, going at it alone. So it's cool, all the people that you got to meet along the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So the question of, are you insane or are you genius, right? And again, going back to the fact that the definition, what makes you genius versus insane is, were you successful? Would you put this more, okay, no, this just ended up being an insane excursion for me? Or is this more in the genius, successful life lessons, something you really took from the experience?
Well, I mean, I definitely wouldn't call it Genius versus what? What was the other one?
Hey, are you insane or are you a genius?
Insane. Oh, I wouldn't call it insane at all.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's genius, but I wouldn't call it insane, because it's just again, travel bug has been in me my whole life. But
Yeah.
again, you're just trying to see the world a little differently than the way you've probably seen it your whole life. And quick little story with Dad, probably when I was in high school, we had to take a trailer load of stuff to the dump. Okay. And so the trailer was really full. The dump is about 5 miles from parents' house. So we were driving very slow, right? And I remember that specifically. We were going really slow down the same roads I've been on my whole life, and the world just seemed different. Everything just seemed different. Like I never noticed this before. I never noticed that. So doing a trip like this on a bike with a trailer, you're not going very fast. I mean, we may have averaged about 5 to 6 miles per hour on the entire trip. The world's different. The world's completely different the way you look at it at that speed. You see things you don't see going 70 miles, down the interstate, and you think things you don't think, and you feel things you don't normally feel. So, is it genius? I don't know if it's genius, but it's just experiencing the world in a different way, obviously at a much slower pace. But I think you might like it. I think everybody might like to at least see what that's like. So, and it challenges you. It definitely challenges you.
Yeah.
And but it does build confidence at the end of it. Like as you say, did you die?
Yeah.
Die.
Yeah. It challenges you from, it's not just like physicality, emotionally, like across, it challenges you in every way, something that extreme, which is, again, that's what pushes you to like, next level. But, cool. Okay. So I will, also put this in, the chat afterwards, but, tosac.com is their website. They've got, again, blog. You can follow them on YouTube. All of the different ways that you can go about, going back and looking at the story. Anything else that you can think of, just for the viewers or commentary?
No, I just thank you for having me, and I just encourage everybody to maybe take a trip like this. It doesn't have to be an 87-day trip. It can be just something around your neighborhood. Maybe just spend. That's it. Maybe everybody should make the goal to spend one night in a tent and to get to that location via bicycle. Just a 1 day thing. Just so that when you wake up the next morning, you're going to feel a little different. I think that's
Yeah.
I can't completely tell you what you're going to feel, but you're going to feel different, and it's going to make you feel a little more confident, a little better about yourself.
That's cool. Well, I love the story. I think it's awesome that you accomplished it. Again, just going back from anxiety ridden to completely going to the extreme of a nomad for that long. It's night and day. So congratulations. I think a congratulations is in order. I don't know if anyone said congratulations to you, but that's congratulations. It's awesome. I'm proud of you. My big brother. It's an awesome story. I'm glad you did it. But if you have any other questions, about the journey itself, you can reach out to myself, or you can also connect with Justin and Colin on their blog and site as well. And like I said, I'll put that in the chat. But that will conclude our Better Than Coffee this Tuesday. Thank you so much for everybody that joined, and I will see you next week. All right.
Thank you all. Bye.